How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Overtime Heroics. I'm Mason Shatwell, and joining me today is UFC light heavyweight Modestas Bukauskas. How are we doing?
Doing very well, thank you, sir. How about yourself?
I can't complain, my man. I'm going to jump straight into it. I've seen you post on your Twitter before. There's a fight announcement been agreed. I don't know if you're able to give a name out yet. Are you allowed?
Yeah, no, I'm not really allowed to say anything too much, but obviously I like to create a bit of suspense for the fans and everything, and for my friends and family. But yeah, all I can say is it's going to be an ecstatic matchup, loads of fireworks. There's going to be a lot of heat thrown, and yeah, I can't wait. So yeah, the announcement hopefully should be coming through because we've signed the contract. I'm pretty sure their side have signed it as well. So they'll probably announce it within the coming weeks, I reckon.
Any hint to when or where it is?
Well, I'll give you one hint. I said that I wanted to fight in July/August. My wish has come true.
I can't wait, my man. I'm gonna jump to your UFC debut first, obviously against Andreas Michailidis, Fight Island. What was the experience like over at Fight Island the first time?
It was absolutely amazing. I mean, I've never I've never been treated that well leading up to a fight ever. Do you know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. Cage Warriors done a good job and everything of getting you very well prepared for what it's going to be like on the top stage and everything. But in terms of like the UFC, they had the physio and people pretty much whenever you needed them, like you call them, they had all like your food ready by the trifecta meals and stuff. They had like an onboard nutritionist looking at your weight and stuff like that. Having all your media obligations, doing photos with the UFC shorts and everything. So yeah, it was pretty much like a dream come true. And not only that, we got to stay at like a 5-star hotel, the W Hotel, very world-renowned hotel. Obviously, I know a lot of celebrities have been there. They've got like the Formula One track there. So yeah, I mean, for a UFC debut, you couldn't really have asked for anything better. Aside from obviously wanting to fight in the US, I think that's probably an even better outlook for when I went out there. It was probably a bit too hot for my liking. The first time that we went, I think it was about 40 degrees, which was insanity. I felt like I was in an oven the whole time. But I had to deal with bursitis in my knee, which then got infected. But aside from that, I mean, to be able to fight and do interviews as well in front of John Anik and all the Michael Bisping and stuff like that, and then next thing go and fight in front of those guys at a arena that was built within a couple of months, and it was such a highly speculated thing. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better experience for a debut.
Well, obviously, that was the first time the UFC had been to Fight Island. Was the main event of your card, if I remember correctly, Dan Ige and Calvin Kattar?
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
I know there was also a couple of other Brits on the card. Obviously, Lerone Murphy was on there as well, and we've seen a few others. Obviously, you're Lithuanian as well, but you're also training out of the UK as well. What does it mean to you representing both Lithuania and, obviously, you're a UK but not born and bred, but you're one of our own now, I think we could say.
Yeah, I mean, look, the way I like to say, I mean, I use this catchy little phrase every time everyone mentions this, but it's born in Lithuania and bred in Britain. I think that's the best way to sort of get the best of both worlds, if you will. But I'm very patriotic and really do enjoy my heritage of Lithuania. I've been studying up and trying to learn the language and everything like that. But of course, I moved to London when I was 3 years old, and that's predominantly where I've had most of my life, which has been living in the UK. I did have 2 years that I lived out in the US as well. But again, if you look at most of my, like I say, most of my main school years and stuff like that, obviously I've been through the whole schooling system here and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I represent both to the fullest, really. Obviously, by the way that I talk and everything, everyone can obviously hear the hints and spells of the British accent and everything. But as well, like I say, from my name, and carrying both flags, I think it really does mean a lot to me, because I want to be able to branch out and reach out, and inspire as many people as possible. And if I can get people out to my home country as well as the British fans, obviously creating a reach like that is just amazing. like I say, for me, to represent a larger and a wider audience, obviously is absolutely amazing.
I may be thinking of someone else here, but was you close to getting a basketball contract when you were younger?
Yeah, so basically, that was the goal. So when I first went out there, I went out there as a junior, which basically you had 2 years. I had 2 years left of school, so technically my sixth form years, or the equivalent, I spent in America. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that was the goal. I wanted to go and play Division One college basketball, but obviously that's quite a long ask, trying to play in Division One, especially when I'd only really been playing 1 year to like really get fully like sort of scouted and recruited and stuff like that. But I had like 1 or 2 schools showing interest, but like I said, the only schools that offer you a full ride scholarship, which is what I was aiming to do, was Division One, and I had like I think 1 Division 3 and then 1 Division 2 school. So, and then yeah, at that point, then I decided that I wanted to go home and get back to martial arts. And like I say, I think I brought over a lot of the athleticism and certain techniques and stuff like that, learning from high school. I brought it back into, and transferred it over to my MMA career. So I'm very grateful of that whole experience.
How did MMA come about for yourself?
Basically, my dad, really. That was the main. I mean, my early years. When I was 5 years old, all a five-year-old kid wants to do is play on the PlayStation, play football with his mates, or whatever, or just basically just hang about and just not really do much. And then next thing you know, my dad showed me a couple of kicks and stuff like that, and it's like, oh yeah, look how cool this is, look at this fancy kick and this and that. And yeah, at the beginning it started off like, oh yeah, this is cool, this is great, and then about 2 weeks later, it gets very serious very quickly. Lights dimming in the room and everything, and it's like, okay, we must train hard now. So yeah, and then from that point onwards, it was very very serious, and we were getting ready for competition essentially. So all of my early days of knowing what martial arts was all about just pretty much came solely through my dad, teaching me sambo, teaching me kickboxing and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, and then it pretty much just carried on from there. The first thing I started competing in was kickboxing. I also competed in judo and stuff like that. I've done a bit of combat jiu-jitsu as well. So yeah, I mean, you could say martial arts has been running through my veins for a very long time.
I want to go back to the Jimmy Crute fight. How was you feeling in the lead up to that?
To be honest, I was very confident in my own abilities. One thing I must say that I did learn from that fight, and even in my last fight, is that at this level it's all marginal gains, and you make very small. You get a victory through very small things, because there's discrepancy in skill set is not that massive. Sometimes you go to regional shows, the discrepancy, like one person might be a really good striker and the other a really good wrestler, and then pretty much who's going to win that fight already before it's even gone in there. But when you're in the UFC, I mean, there's very small margins between how much skill there is between each fighter. So really, it comes down to not only just obviously everyone has their tendencies and stuff like that, but it comes down to really who strategizes the best and stuff like that. And yeah, I still to this day feel very confident in my abilities. I know what I'm capable of. I know my skill set, but it's just how. You need to know how to use it the best in the fight. You need to know how to be able to put it all together and be able to exploit that and use that the best that you can within the fight. And that is still, I have to admit, obviously has been a learning process for me within the UFC. But like I say, I'm already fine tuning everything and putting the pieces together. Now I can really feel myself coming together and putting everything together that I've been wanting to do. So yeah, I felt very confident going into that fight because I knew I had the skill set. It's just a case of I needed to be able to use my skill set a little bit better, and obviously fighting on the main card for the first time, getting more attention and stuff like that. Even though those things don't really bother me, maybe in hindsight, maybe those things maybe did affect me. Who knows? But I would like to point something out. It's funny that Rose Namajunas used the exact same setup that I used. But in my case, I got knocked out, and in Rose's case, she knocked the other girl out with the same jab, left high kick setup. So as you can see in MMA and at this skill set, there's very it's like I say, you know, one shot may win you a fight, one shot may lose you a fight. So the level of skill set's not that different now. It's just about how you strategize and use your skills to the best of your ability. So yeah, it was a very rewarding fight, actually, because it taught me a lot of I guess you could say errors of my ways and things that I needed to work on.
I want to go to your last fight, obviously, UFC 260. Before we talk about the fight itself, I believe, was it the first time that you'd fought in the US?
Yes, that was the first time, yeah.
Apart from the fight, how was your experience over in the States?
Absolutely amazing. I love America. Every single time I go over there, I definitely feel a sense of, like, I don't know. It's sort of like a weird sort of emotion. Like it's like, I don't really know how to explain that. It's sort of reminded me. It gave me a bit of nostalgia about when I was in school in America for those 2 years. Like every time I go back there, I just love it. You know, everyone's really friendly. You know, you've got big open roads and stuff like that. You know, we had limos taking us to the venue. You know, with your name on it and stuff like that. So the UFC, you know, they always take amazing care of their fighters. Anything you need, they sort it all out. You got them all on, you know, at the click of a button, or the, you know, anytime you want to talk to them, they're always there to text or call to answer your questions. So everything's run very, very professionally and very well done. Everyone's very nice, and yeah, obviously fighting in the US for the first time, that was a big thing for me. You know, it was a dream of mine to fight in America, and you know, I was able to live out that dream. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way that I wanted to, but like I say, the experience itself, I can only imagine what it'd be like fighting in America in front of an actual crowd. So, but it was as well in itself, fighting at the Apex, seeing it on the TV the whole time, and the next thing you know, you're actually fighting there, was absolutely amazing.
100%. And obviously, let's go into the fight, because I know after the fight, a lot of people thought you won. And I rewatched the fight a couple of days ago after knowing we was going to do this interview, and I thought, let myself go over it again and get another fair look at the fight. And to be honest, I had the fight 2 rounds to 1 in your favour. But after the fight was called for your opponent, what went through your mind?
I really did think that I'd won the fight. I really thought my hand was going to be raised, but at the same time, you know, you're always thinking to yourself, there's always that little thought in your mind thinking, what if the judges are just going to just not see it the way that, you know, it should have been seen, or the way that I was looking at it? Because I knew the thing is, I almost finished him in the first and almost finished him in the second. If you're going by landing damage, I think I definitely landed more damage. And then as well, even looking at the third, a lot of, you know, everyone said that I lost that round, and it was mainly due to everyone saying, oh, I got hurt with that body shot. But if you're going by that logic, I mean, the first and second rounds, I landed a hell of a lot of damage. So, I mean, I looked at the scorecards afterwards. The two judges that, you know, inevitably gave him the fight, gave him the first round. So that was really quite strange to me, because I pretty much outlanded him in significant strikes in every round, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, it was a bit of a kick in the foot, because, you know, you don't want to go out, especially because that fight, I do feel, was like my chance to sort of show more of my skill set, to really get back on the winning streak. But yeah, unfortunately, it didn't go my way. But look, you always learn and evolve, and you do things, and you know what it shows you is that you have to make adjustments. If you don't make adjustments, you're continue going down the same road. So I'm actually thankful as well for the loss, because had I had won, it wouldn't have highlighted some things that I really did need to change.
Well, I want to go back to before you were signed to the UFC. Well, when you was about to be signed, how did that come about, you getting the UFC contract and finding out?
Yeah, so realistically, I thought there would be a big potential for me to get signed after I'd won the Cage Warriors belt for the first time. And because Hamlet was being rooted to, you know, winning and then going on to fight on the Copenhagen card because he was Norwegian, and, you know, fighting on a Scandinavian card would have been perfect for them, you know, to have a hometown guy. And unfortunately, their plan didn't go the way they wanted to. I think everyone really expected him to win. So at that point, I took all his steam. I got all the attention, but mainly it was due to my management company, Iridium Sports Agency. Shout out to them. Jason House, amazing guy. You know, that I signed with him shortly after I'd won the belt. and that was probably one of the best decisions and moves that I'd made. Because then it was a case of, okay, we're going to try and get you last minute on a card, so just stay ready, stay in shape, keep training. And then it got to a point where the Copenhagen card, it looked like no one else was going to pull out. And then I told Jason, I said, listen, I want to fight. Like, I don't want to be sitting on the sidelines. He goes, okay, cool. We'll have one more fight with Cage Warriors, just give you even more stock for you to use. And then I ended up winning that fight. And then it got to the end of the year, got to the beginning of the year. We had loads of conversations. At that point, I'm like, I'm on a roll. I just want to fight again. I was getting ready. I said, I'll be ready to defend my belt again. Give me another one. Do you know what I mean? I was just eager to fight. And again, just raise my stock even more. And then, he said, no, just calm down, just wait. I think we got a good shot at getting you on the Contender Series, if not, again, a last minute thing. But, so already at the beginning of, 2020, it was in my head set, okay, let's just get ready for the Contender Series. Let's put in one big performance and get signed. And then next thing you know, I think must have been like midway through January, I got a text and a load of missed phone calls from my manager, like 2-3 in the morning, obviously because of the time difference. He's in America, and I don't usually get calls from him, but at that point I hadn't clocked that something maybe different from these phone calls. And then I woke up for my usual 3 o'clock in the morning, go to the toilet, and then I come back and check my phone, and like I said, I seen all the missed calls, and I thought, I really in my head, I was like, I'm tired. Like, okay, I'll catch up with him in the morning. But then I thought, why not? Do you know what I mean? It was almost like a nonchalant sort of, oh yeah, well, we'll see what's up. Maybe he's got a sponsorship deal or something. And then next thing you know, he goes, oh, how you doing? How's everything going? And I was like, yeah, not bad. I mean, it's a bit early in the morning, but other than that, all good. And then he goes, well, how do you feel about fighting in the UFC? I'm like, wait, what? Like, I literally couldn't believe it. And then I say I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't expect the phone call to come at that point, but then I go, wait, what? Like, what are you trying to say? And he goes, you're in the UFC. I was like, what? And then I literally was gobsmacked. I couldn't say anything for the next minute. Like, I was literally I was just speechless. And it was an absolute amazing conversation, amazing phone call. Obviously, at that point, I couldn't go back to sleep. And then 5 o'clock in the morning, my dad was going to train. I went to go see him. I said, Dad, we're in the UFC, and he had like a cheesy grin from ear to ear. But again, it was sort of expected. We knew that was the next logical step for us. That's where we wanted to compete. That's what we want. So we've been living for our whole lives. So it was just like, cool, we've done it. Now we've got more work to do, more things to look forward to. So it was amazing to finally reach, a point in my career where, like a milestone had been reached, that I've been literally training, living, breathing, going through such tough times just to get to this point in my life, and I finally did it. And now it's just a case of, okay, I've achieved that. It's weird because I've been visualizing the whole time, but now let's get on with making even more of my my dreams come true and stuff like that. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing, completely unexpected at the particular time. Like I said, I was getting ready for Contender Series, but obviously when the phone call came, I'm like, now I just can't wait to fight.
100%. You've mentioned Cage Warriors a couple of times. How would you describe your time on there? Because obviously you was a Cage Warriors champion as well.
I wouldn't say I was the most marketed fighter from Cage Warriors. I'd say they done an amazing job to get you prepared for the big show. Like, all the media, all the, how they do the medicals and stuff like that. Everything was run. I have to admit, they're the most professionally run show. I mean, that's why they're the number one organization in Europe, is because they're so, they even have an event in America now, but they're the most professionally run show out there. And it will literally, that is the correct stepping stone to get you into the big promotions like the UFC. I mean, look, when I first signed my contract, they gave me a fight, and it was sort of a fight for me to go in there, show my skills and get a big win. And they would have been quite happy with me. But, losing that fight, it dampened our relationship, I think. And I guess in a way, I guess it was warranted from their side. It's like, oh yeah, we brought this kid into the Cage Warriors and then he loses a fight. It's like, oh well, what's going on here? And then I sort of had to almost earn their trust back. Like when I came back from injury, I had to take a kickboxing fight in order just to get their attention. And then when I won by knockout, they're like, okay, cool, we got a fight for you. I'm like, probably didn't really need me to win a fight to almost get their attention. But when it came to then I have to admit, they literally gave me everything I wanted. So I have to admit, in that respect as well, Cage Warriors did an absolutely amazing job. Like, we asked them after the Kaneki fight, we said, listen, we want a big fight. Like, we need to get ourselves out there, give us a big name. They found it. They found it in Wojciech. They gave us the Cage Warriors title shot as well. See, the thing is, they gave me all the opportunities. It was honestly at that point just down to me. However, I feel like I mean, I guess you can see it from the other side that they didn't want to take a risk and promote someone, without the backing. And, when I won the belt, they started promoting me more. But yeah, I feel like a lot of other fighters got, really like pushed out into the spotlight. I wasn't one of those guys. So I was happy that they finally did. And I was happy that the platform that they gave me and the opportunities that they gave me, I'm forever thankful for that, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for fighting on Cage Warriors. I can't say anything about that. Winning the Cage Warriors belt was probably at the time, the best thing that happened to me in my career. And it really, catapulted me into the spotlight. So Cage Warriors, I have to admit, aside from, like I say, the promotional issues and stuff like that, they are the best show, and they got me to where I am. So I'm extremely grateful and thankful that they gave me the opportunity.
100%, and I'm always interested in speaking to fighters about their experience with weight cutting. How have your weight cuts so far been? Have you had any difficult ones that stick out? Or
don't even talk to me about middleweight. Oh my lord, that was just horrendous. Like, I don't even know how I made middleweight. Like, it still baffles me to this day. Like, the really, really hard, like, sweat baths, having to lose, like, 15 pounds and stuff like that, having to, like, basically barely eat anything. Like, and I just didn't do it the right way. Obviously, it's just horrible. I couldn't do any, like, specific weight training or anything like that. I couldn't train properly because I was worried more about the weight. I know lots of fighters have probably mentioned that in the past, but moving up to light heavyweight was honestly the best move, because now, if you look at my last couple of weight cuts, I mean, my first fight in the UFC, I didn't cut anything. The second fight, I cut a bit more. I cut about 5 pounds. And then this last fight, I cut 2 pounds. It was literally the easiest weight cuts I could have asked for, but I felt the best at that. So, I felt strong, I felt fast. So, in respect to that, the only tough weight cuts were early on in my career at middleweight. And like I said, it's just because I naturally grew out of the frame that I was in. I had a very sort of skinnier frame. Like, I got a bit of a bulkier frame from, when I went to high school in America, playing American football and, and stuff like that. But then, when I came back and you started doing a thing called cardio, all of that, quickly went down the drain. So, then my body shape changed even more. So, I haven't had too bad of experiences, but I've always had a tough time at middleweight because I'd have to cut a hell of a lot the night before and then a hell of a lot in the morning. You're literally just sitting in the bath, like trying to egg yourself on. It feels like it's been half an hour, but it's only been like 30 seconds. And you're like, what? Like, I've still got another 4.5 minutes, and you're literally like, it's unbearable. Like, you're fainting when you're standing and stuff like that. But credit, I guess I could say I've never missed weight, and I never will miss weight. So but I'm definitely in the right weight class now for sure.
what weight do you usually walk around at?
Right now I've been walking a lot lighter. A lot of people see me now. They're like, they keep telling me, "Oh, Modestas, like, you look in good shape. Like, you look quite thin." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Do you know what I mean? Don't use that word thin with me. Say ripped, in shape. Like, those are the kind of words that I like to hear. But to be honest, right now, I mean, I probably don't walk much further away from 220. I mean, I used to before, like, 230. Even when I would, like, sort of blobber up, I mean, like on the Costco's bakery aisle. But aside from that, right now, about 220 is really the heaviest. And when I get, like, really lean and, like, sort of in shape, like really good shape, it's quite easy for me now. Like, give me a week and I'll already get into really, really good shape, just from the correct dieting and stuff like that. I never veer too far off of the weight, especially because you got to look at this being a professional athlete. Gone are the days of me wanting to pound down sweets throughout the week, and you just can't train properly. You know what I mean? So I don't go further than 220, but I would say right now I'm probably sitting about 219.
Well, I know back in, I think it was October, November time, I seen on yours and a couple of the guys' Instagram, you went down to Manchester top team to train with some of them.
Yeah.
What was your experience like with those guys?
Absolutely amazing. Carl Prince is a very good coach, amazing coach. He's got good philosophies, and the way that he trains his guys is very strategic, very very serious and very professional. And I like that about his gym. And as you know, he's got, like I say, he's helping the guys. I think to find the best coaches, you got to sort of have a coach who's able to get the best out of you and be able to use your tools in the correct manner. And yeah, definitely that was one of the things I noticed there. And yeah, the guys obviously there are very talented, very skilled, and it was good to help me with my training and stuff like that. Also traveled to Birmingham as well, trained with Leon and Fabian Edwards, and sparred a couple of those guys as well. So yeah, and now I'm training with Team Titan. So I've always found like really good, helpful sparring partners and stuff like that. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing because you can always take knowledge from everywhere, and you just realize how many amazing minds there are out there for this sport, and they can give you so many different takes that you can give you golden nuggets that can help you improve your game. So definitely, like I said, going to Manchester was a big help for me.
100%. I've just got a couple more things before we end it here. If you could give one piece of advice to a fighter that's thinking about starting at MMA or has just started, what would it be?
Learn as much as you can. I mean, that's probably a piece of advice that most people would give, but just be very open-minded. You're obviously going to find something that you're the most passionate about. Some guys are like, oh, I love jiu-jitsu, and then they go and train jiu-jitsu, and then there's guys who are, I like striking, and they'll start doing striking. But realistically, I'd say just be very open-minded. Come into the gym, take in and absorb as much as you can, and just really enjoy it, but at the same time sort of take it seriously. You got to try and learn as much as you can, because every generation is getting better than the last, because they already know more information than the last. So there's going to be all these coaches that are going to give you amazing pieces of advice that have throughout time compounded and got more and more knowledge to give you the best chance of filling out your potential. So that's the thing, you just got to learn, man. I mean, do every discipline, try and get it. You just got to train everywhere. This is MMA. Learn how to wrestle, learn how to do jiu-jitsu. Don't stay stuck to one art, because then you will get exposed, especially at this day and age. It's just about learning as much as you can. Get in all the correct training, even if it means having to travel a bit far or pay a little bit of money here or there. Do the wrestling, do the jiu-jitsu, do the striking, and yeah, just try and improve in those areas as much as you can, because inevitably the level is going to keep going up every generation.
100%, man. I agree. I'm supposed to be having a amateur fight come July, so I'm enjoying learning the different arts of MMA. So I've been enjoying that. Do you have any sponsors, shout outs that you want to give before we end?
Yeah, I definitely want to obviously give a massive shout out to Iridium Sports Agency. Massive shout out to them, always helping me out with everything that I need. Obviously, I've got to give a massive shout out to my boy from Mauler MMA. I don't know if you tried any of their gloves, but they are next level. And he's bringing out some new ones, which are going to be even more next level. But Mauler MMA, Fred Zafar is the main man there. And like I say, he's always taking care of me. And not only that, he gives me amazing products. Also, Distinct Physio, Leanne is the name. If anyone's in the Radlett area, go check her out, because I mean, there's not many people that can heal from a knee dislocation and then go and defend a Cage Warriors World title. So if you want to give any credit to someone who's helped me do that, it would definitely be Leanne. So big shout out to her. Also, Fighter Shop UK. My man, my Lithuanian brother, always, like I say, always giving me anything I need in that area. And like I say, they're just everyone, like especially like my dad, like always helping me out and stuff like that. But yeah, there's so many different people that helping me out in so many different ways, and I'm forever grateful for for all the support that I've been getting throughout the years. It's literally it's helped me to get where I am today. So yeah, like I say, I am forever grateful, and I can't wait for what the future holds for all of us.
And last but not least, where can people find yourself on social media?
So Twitter is at Baltic Gladiator. And then on Instagram, I've probably got to try and change that at some point. But anyways, for the time being, on Instagram, it's at MODYB24. So ModyB24.
100%, man. Modestas, it's been a pleasure, my friend. I'm sure we'll catch up again in the future, and take care, man, and have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Always a pleasure talking to you. Much love, and also good luck for your fight, man. I know you're going to go and smash it, yeah?
Thank you, brother. Take care.
Nice one, brother. Take care.